Hello, everyone. Today we are going to learn Chapter 6, Government Influence on Exchange Rates. The learning objectives include 1. Describe the exchange rate systems used by various governments. 2. Describe the development and implications of a single European currency. 3. Explain how governments can use direct intervention to influence exchange rates. 4. Explain how government can use indirect intervention to influence foreign exchange rate. Exchange rate systems can be classified according to the degree of government control and fall into the following categories: fixed, freely floating, managed float, and pegged. Fixed exchange rate system has Bretton Woods Agreement over 1944 to 1971. Each currency was valued in terms of gold. After the Bretton Woods Agreement collapsed, Smithsonian Agreement during 1971 to 1973 called for a devaluation of the US dollar by about 8% against other currencies. Now, governments sometimes intervene to prevent their currencies from moving too far in a certain direction. We call this system as managed float exchange rate system. Pegged exchange rate system, that means home currency value is pegged to one foreign currency or to an index of currencies. Dollarization is a replacement of a foreign currency used US dollars. This process is a step beyond a currency board because it forces the local currency to be replaced by the US dollar. Although dollarization and a currency board both attempt to peg the local currency's value, the currency board does not replace the local currency with dollars. Monetary policy in the Eurozone. European Central Bank is based in Frankfurt and is responsible for setting monetary policy for all participating European countries. There are many reasons for government intervention. For example, smoothing exchange rate movement, establishing implicit exchange rate boundaries, responding to a temporary disturbance. Direct intervention is to force the dollar to depreciate. The Fed can intervene directly by exchanging dollar that it holds as reserves for other foreign currencies in the foreign exchange market. By flood the market with dollars, in this manner, the Fed put downward pressure on the dollar value. If the Fed desires to strengthen the dollar, it can exchange foreign currencies for dollars in the foreign exchange market, thereby putting upward pressure on the dollar. Direct intervention has reliance on reserves. and frequency of intervention, coordinated intervention. Direct intervention has a non-sterilized versus sterilized intervention. When the Fed intervenes in the foreign exchange market without adjusting for the change in the money supply, is engaged in a non-sterilized intervention. In a sterilized intervention, the Fed intervenes in the foreign exchange market and simultaneously engaged in offsetting transaction in the Treasury securities market. Indirect intervention is that the Fed can affect the dollar's value indirectly by influencing the factors that determine it. Those factors include inflation, interest rate, income level, change in government control, and change in expectations of future exchange rate. Now we come to the conclusion of this chapter. Exchange rate systems can be classified as fixed rate, freely floating, managed float, and pegged. Numerous European countries use the euro as their home currency. This single currency allows international trade among firms in the Eurozone without foreign exchange expenses and without concerns about future exchange rate movement. However, countries that participate in the euro do not have complete control of their monetary policy because a single policy is applied to all countries in the Eurozone. In addition, being part of the Eurozone may render some countries more susceptible to a crisis occurring in some other Eurozone country. Government can use direct intervention by purchasing or selling currencies in the foreign exchange market, thereby altering demand and supply conditions and hence the currency's equilibrium values. When the government purchases a currency in the foreign exchange market, it puts upward pressure on that currency's equilibrium value. When the government sells a currency in the foreign exchange market, it puts downward pressure on the currency's equilibrium value. Governments can use indirect intervention by influencing the economic factors that affect equilibrium exchange rate. A common form of indirect intervention is to increase interest rate in order to attract more international capital flows, which may cause the local currency to appreciate. However, indirect intervention is not always effective.